Hello, and welcome to CityWorks. I'm your host, Joe Brown. On today's show, we're going to find out about the head of the city, the mayor. We'll find out why one wishes to become a mayor and what the job entitles. A little background into how many mayors St. Thomas has had as a village, town, or city. We will also find out what the job of Reeve is like in Port Stanley and many differences between the city mayor and a village Reeve. So stay tuned for CityWorks for mayors and Reeves. Since the early days of civilization, every tribe, village, town, or city-state has had a leader, someone who the people could follow or look up to. This leader represented the community and in early times dictated law. Depending where in the world, what the political climate was like, and when in history a person was a leader of a community, determined the level of power and authority this person had.
Well, the authority that's vested in the mayor, again, is set down in the Ontario Municipal Act. The mayor, I liken, is very much like the chairman of a board of a large corporation. The corporation, the City of St. Thomas, is a $36 million a year corporation, and the mayor is the chairman, and the other board of directors would be the 7 members of City Council. The mayor is responsible for leading the city as the spokesman for the city, will chair various meetings, represents the city at numerous outside boards and bodies. And the mayor is very much responsible for acting as a public relations person for the city, certainly working as a spokesman, working with the administration to ensure that proper information gets out to the public, and deals with a wide variety of issues in public concerns, from issues of a nature affecting individuals to issues affecting whole neighborhoods to dealing with trying to attract new business and industry. The mayor does a wide variety of things.
While the position of mayor or reeve is often well sought after, it takes a certain type of individual who is up to such a challenging job.
The decision to run for mayor should not be taken lightly. It is a position that holds a lot of authority. It's also a position that has a lot of responsibility placed on it. You're certainly the figurehead and the spokesman for the community. The position of mayor is one that I don't believe has changed much in the 144 years of the corporation. The role that the first Reeve and mayor would have played is very similar to what I have to deal with today. The decision to run for mayor is made because you believe that you've got something to offer to the community and something that you can put into the community to help make your city a better place. To get elected for mayor is a very demanding and grueling job. You have to go out and campaign, knock on doors, distribute literature, put up signs, advertise, and sell yourself as an individual and sell yourself to the electorate as to why you would be the choice for mayor. Every 3 years in the province of Ontario, an election occurs, and at that point, the mayor's position, along with the 7 members of council, is given to the public, and the public will decide who is going to elect, who they will elect, and who will serve them as their mayor for the next 3 years. St. Thomas was incorporated as a municipal entity in 1852, and from 1852 and 1860, the term mayor was not used. The term for the head of the council at that time was the reeve, and there were six individuals who served as reeve of this municipality during that 8-year period. The first reeve or leader of this municipality was a gentleman by the name of David Parrish, and Parrish served this municipality for 2 terms. In 1861, St. Thomas was incorporated as a town, and at that point the term reeve was dropped and mayor was inserted. It was also at that time that the city separated from the county and became a separated municipality. And the period from 1861 until 1881, there were 7 mayors who served the municipality during that period. The first mayor of the town of St. Thomas was a gentleman by the name of M.T. Moore. In 1881, on March the 4th, 1881, St. Thomas was incorporated as a city, and William Van Buskirk was the first mayor of the city of St. Thomas. Since that period, there have been 46 mayors who have served the corporation. I am the 47th mayor to have served the citizens of St. Thomas. Some of them only served one term, some of them served a longer period of time. Some of that may have been because of personal decisions, some of that may have been because of the decision of the electorate not to re-elect them. But every one of the mayors, my predecessors, have left their mark, and each of them has done something to help better St. Thomas.
I do as
Being
well.
a leader of a community requires someone who has the time, devotion, and leadership skills to effectively run the municipality.
One of the things that I've noticed about in my past 5 years as mayor is that the job of mayor is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You're always on duty. It doesn't matter whether it's within this building, in meeting the public, or at meetings, even out on the street. The public can stop you at any point and want to discuss various issues with you. They'll call you at home. They'll corner you in a restaurant, even going to the show. And it's important that you treat everybody with respect and dignity as mayor, and understand that the problems and concerns and suggestions from any of the 30,000 citizens of St. Thomas is very important. There's many good things about the job, and there's some things that there's not too many bad things about it. The good things is that there's a personal satisfaction of realizing that you're doing your part in trying to make this world a better place, even though it may be just a small part. There's personal satisfaction from helping people out. There's a lot of satisfaction when you see things that are going to make our municipality a better place. There's the satisfaction of seeing your city spotlighted and spotlighted in the eyes of other municipalities. Some of the cons of the job certainly are a loss of your personal freedom. You're certainly, as I said earlier, on duty at all times, and certainly when you may be trying to do a personal thing, somebody will want to talk to you about it, and it's difficult to say to that person, sorry, I'm off duty. As I said earlier, you're always on duty. Certainly, I find too that there's a lot of hours that you have to devote to the job. There's a lot of evenings that are involved in this job. There are a lot of weekends too. I've given up many weekends, and certainly my personal life has suffered because I felt it's important that the city of St. Thomas is, I was elected and charged with that responsibility to lead this community, and I've tried to give, as I know all my predecessors have, every possible amount of time and devoted all my energy possible to serving the citizens of St. Thomas. And it's certainly, there are times where you see things that happen as mayor and happen to the municipality that people will blame you for, but I look at it that I just get up every morning and I try to do the best job that I can and put the interests of the citizens of St. Thomas first.
A person who has the desire and leadership skills to become a mayor or reeve of a community is likely to get his or her training on the job.
The training involved, there's really not a lot of training. The best training that one can get to serve as mayor is spend time on city council and learn how the city operates and the various things that the city does, and understand that. But other than that, there's no school for mayors. There's no programs that one can take to learn how to be a mayor. It's very much an education. A lot of it is on-the-job training. But certainly you learn a great deal. You have a better appreciation for a municipality. And when it's all said and done, I really believe that the mayor and members of city council, you almost deserve to receive a degree, because it is such an education. You're always learning. You've got homework to do all the time. It is very much a job of that there is never a dull moment in it. The budget for the city of St. Thomas is in excess of $36 million a year, and a portion that's just under $200,000 a year is allocated to the operation of the mayor and city council budget. The mayor and city council, its budget pays our wages. It also pays for support staff and secretarial staff. It also pays, we do a number of goodwill and public relations things within the community, and it helps to defray some of those costs. But it's, the price of government is a very small portion of the overall budget of the city corporation.
Like most jobs in the 90s, being the mayor is not for life. You have a lot of responsibilities, and you are constantly watched for job performance.
The mayor is ultimately answerable to the electorate of St. Thomas. Every 3 years, the electorate can decide whether they're satisfied with the job that the mayor is doing or they're dissatisfied, and they'll elect another mayor. But the mayor also has to abide by the Municipal Act of Ontario along with the council, and certainly there's various rules and regulations that I must follow to serve the citizens of St. Thomas.
There are many different types of leaders all over the world, working in all kinds of federal, state, and municipal governments.
The types of government that we have, certainly there's, if one were to look across the world today, they'd see a wide variety of governments in place, whether it's democracies or dictatorships or even some communist regimes and a whole host of others in between. But in Canada, we do live in a democracy, and our type of government is something that has evolved in Canada, but it very much follows the British tradition. And that was having councils in place to serve the citizens. In St. Thomas, we've had an elected council since 1852, and it's that council working together with administration that decisions are made. There's other types of councils in the United States where the mayor has some extreme authority and can make a lot of decisions. In St. Thomas, the mayor is only one vote of 8. The mayor does not have any type of veto. I can't override decisions that are made by city council. We all collectively make decisions for the good of the citizens. But the various types of government that do exist, I think, have evolved and developed to meet the local needs. Our system of government is one that certainly has met the needs of St. Thomas and actually all the citizens of Ontario, because virtually every municipality follows the same type of government. St. Thomas has 8 elected officials to serve 30,000 people. But you look at the whole of Elgin County, it's a county that's 60 miles long and 12 miles wide, and there's 17 different municipalities in Elgin County with a population of 70,000 people. That is under review right now, but certainly the move of the provincial government is that municipalities need to be larger. The role that St. Thomas is going to play in a restructured county is unknown at this time. We're certainly prepared to look at it, but we have done quite well on our own for the past 140 years, and certainly we're prepared to look at different ways of doing business, but ultimately, if we are going to change the way we are governed in St. Thomas, we have to make sure that it's going to be in the best interest of the taxpayers of St. Thomas, and change for the sake of change isn't always the best. Change must have benefits for the citizens of St. Thomas.
The council chambers in the St. Thomas City Hall has various pictures of former mayors. Each has its own unique story to tell.
On the walls of the council chamber are a number of portraits of former mayors of the city. There's been quite a few people that have served as mayor in Reeves since 1852, but unfortunately we only have these 7 painted portraits, although we do have some photographs. And these gentlemen, all these paintings were painted by a local artist named Ross Osgood, and some of the mayors include, top left is Robert McCulley. McCulley was the mayor when the first hospital opened and the first park, Waterworks Park, opened, and when our first drinking water came on tap in 1891. F.W. Wright, the man in the middle, he was the mayor in 1897 and 98, and there was quite a controversy behind this building, and Wright cast a deciding vote and made it 7-6 in favor of building the building. The top right is W.E. Izzardi. Izzardi came to St. Thomas. He was an engineer and a surveyor, and came to St. Thomas with the coming of the railways in the 1870s, and he went on to serve the city as distinction of mayor and a number of terms on council, and was very active in real estate development in the corporation. The man at the bottom left, his name is George Geddes. And George Geddes, when he was mayor, he's the mayor that signed the document that's St. Thomas was the first city in Ontario to sign on for hydroelectric power. And Geddes signed that document, and we were the 4th city in Ontario to receive electricity from Niagara Falls, and that was in 1911. The man in the middle is Patrick Meehan. Pat Meehan served almost 40 years on City Council, including a number of terms as mayor, and was a fixture on City Council for a number of years. He's the 2nd longest serving member of council. The longest serving was Peter Lang. Peter Lang served the city in remarkable capacity for over 52 years, and it's a record that is almost unparalleled in Canadian municipal history. And the man down at the bottom right is Sparrin Chant. Chant was mayor for a number of years and also operated a dry goods business where Medlin's Hardware is on Talbot Street. The 7th portrait in the council chamber is that of Edward Horton. And Edward Horton is the man that's responsible. His family donated the land for the Horton Market on Horton Street.
Often, leaders will have some kind of symbol to indicate their position in the community and council. This symbol is a reflection of the municipality.
This is the mayor's chain of office. This is a tradition that has come to Canada from the British Isles. The chain of office symbolizes the mayor's authority as mayor. I'm expected to wear this chain of office at council meetings and at various functions, special functions around the city. The chain of office is very much individual to various municipalities. This chain depicts a number of things and important things in the history of our corporation. The Great Seal, this is the seal of the corporation, and contained on the chain are various things that relate to the area. For example, there's a sheaf of wheat on the chain. The sheaf of wheat signifies the importance of the agricultural community around St. Thomas and the important role that agriculture played in the development of St. Thomas. There's a flower on here. For example, the city of St. Thomas is known as the Flower City. Back in the early teens and 20s, we had a very active horticultural society that gave St. Thomas that Flower City name. Even today, you know, all one has to do is tour our parks or drive down Talbot Street, and you'll see the wonderful flower shows that we put on, and very much still the Flower City. There's also a steam engine on here. The steam engine signifies the importance that the railways have played in the development of the city. The railways were very much a part of the history over the years. And we are known as the Railway City, and through the work of On Track and the Elgin Railway Museum and the Locomotive Restoration Society and other groups, we're on track to become the railroad capital of Canada. There's the insignia for the medical profession on here. The first school of medicine in Upper Canada was actually here in St. Thomas. It opened in 1824. It didn't operate for very long, and it eventually became part of the University of Toronto Medical School. Also is another engraving of the city crest. And then there's the Old English Church. The Old English Church, which was built between 1822 and 24, is the oldest church in southwestern Ontario and very much a symbol of the heritage of our community. Also linked on the chain of office are the names of the mayors who have served the corporation since 1967. This chain was donated to the city by the local JC's Club in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of Canada. And it's a beautiful piece of jewelry, and it's something that I've worn with pride, and I know various mayors prior to me have worn the chain with pride also.
While the job of a mayor of a city is similar to a mayor of a town or a reeve of a village, there are some differences.
What does a reeve do? Well, we have lots of jobs. A reeve is the head of council, as you know, and has to make sure the governance stays in place, and we have to oversee all our council meetings. We are the chair of all those meetings. They're the legislative head of a council. We have to supervise the conduct and performance of all officials of the municipality. We attend many, many functions on behalf of our municipality. We represent our village at social events, parades. Dignitaries come into the village. We greet them, present them with the village pin, and give them a tour of our village. We're the chair of the committees, of all committees. We have to meet with residents. If a resident phones me up and they request a meeting, I'll meet with the residents. I find that you have to be accessible to the people, and I find that most Reeves and mayors are very accessible to their residents, and if there is a concern, I'm sure they'll phone and get right to us. We have to sign all the bylaws and debentures of the municipality. To communicate to council any information or recommendations necessary for the good government of our municipality. I guess there are so many things that you do on a daily basis. You know, you just do it naturally. The biggest thing is we also sit on county council, which is different than a mayor, because the mayor does not sit on city council unless they're one of the new regionalized communities, such as Lambton. I believe up in the Lambton area, all the Reeves have been designated as mayors, so now all the mayors now sit on their council. As a representative of the village of Port Stanley sitting on county council, we go in the best interest of Elgin County. We're all there. All the Reeves and Deputy Reeves sit on county council, and we are there for the betterment of the whole of the county of Elgin, not just our own municipality. And at county council, we also sit on many more committees. So it's a very busy job when you spread it between the municipality and the county government.
Women have risen to the challenge of being community leaders for some time now. Many municipalities, including Port Stanley, reflect this.
The village of Port Stanley, since 1875, has had 40 Reeves. And of those 40 Reeves, 3 have been women. The first woman Reeve was elected back in 1965, and that was Violet McCarthy. She was re-elected again for another term later on, and then Reeve Sylvia Hoffus, and then myself. I have never, even at the county council level, where it's made up of 3-to-1, the male faction, have I ever found that there was a distinction between any of us. We're all treated equally, and just because I'm a female, it doesn't make any difference.
As we have learned earlier about what it takes to become a mayor, becoming a Reeve is similar, although how a person runs and trains for office may vary.
Running for the position of Reeve in a village, there is nothing that you can learn about. Like, you don't take courses to be a Reeve or a mayor. Most of it is common sense. There are many, many books on the legislative powers of a council and what a Reeve or a mayor may do. Those books are there for the offering of anybody, and you can go into the libraries and even pick them up. I picked up several before I ran in my very first election. But I also worked for the village of Port Stanley for 14 years as a bookkeeper here, so I did have some basic knowledge of the comings and goings of council, rules and regulations, everything that went along with the local government aspect. So I did have some type of basic knowledge of what was going to happen, and I did take council meetings. I became the acting clerk when our clerk was off or on holidays or ill. I became the acting clerk, so I learned from that, except I was sitting on the other side of the table. And I just think most of it is common sense and trying to do what is best for your community. And that is very difficult in itself, because you're never going to please everybody. You're just going to try to do the best you can. I found some of the cons against it, that some of the residents in our village take the decisions of council very personally, and these are even your friends, you know, who think, well, they weren't pleased about something, and it is hit personally. But overall, I think the job is a great, challenging job, and I feel every everybody that has a desire to do something for their community should get involved and run for municipal government.
We have taken a look at the current leaders of St. Thomas and Port Stanley and have compiled a list of former leaders since the early days of these great communities. Being head of a municipality is a lot like being head of a business or a corporation. You have a responsibility of being a good leader and someone who is not afraid to make decisions. A mayor or a Reeve represents the community and therefore acts as a one-person public relations department. This has been one part of what makes the city work in the way it does. As we continue with further episodes of City Works, we will still take a look at other components of the municipality and how they contribute to city life. I'm Joe Brown for City Works. See you next week.